Roe v. Wade, nonetheless, was most probably the antecedent to the culture wars, wasn't it? Because it wasn't about the rights of the unborn. It was simply about women's rights. And of course, fathers disappeared from the argument. I mean, there was a certain fallacy in the pro-abortion argument, was there not, that the choice a woman made was the ultimate good, not whether it was a good or bad choice. And for the unborn child, abortion is obviously not good.
Right. Well, and things have changed a lot in 50 years. I mean, the public opinion has changed. I mean, goodness, we've just had Mother's Day, but I mean, the left would like to call it Birthing Persons Day.
Yes.
But science and technology is really catching up with this issue. And all of a sudden, we can see inside the womb. We can see the moving fingers and toes, and we can see the breathing and the four chambers of the heart beating. And so, science and technology is really catching up to this issue. There's all kinds of opportunities for birth control to prevent pregnancies that weren't available 50 years ago. And so it really is time for this issue to be readdressed and to be returned to the states, which is the rightful owner of this issue.
Yes. Now, of course, many of these states, just before we come to the states thing, is this likely to lead to a discussion of rights, or will the overturning of Roe versus Wade just lead? Because when the left don't get their way, what do you get? Violence and demonstrations. Are we going to have more of that?
Right. Well, they're certainly going to try to make it about that. But even in the leaked draft opinion, Justice Alito said explicitly that this only deals with the right of abortion. This does not deal with same sex marriage or LGBTQ kids in school or all these things that Biden and the left are trying to make it out to be. So, explicitly in the leaked draft of this opinion, it says that it is exclusively about this issue. So, any fabrication on the left to try to make it about something else is really unfounded.
And just coming back to that point you make, I understand that more than 50% of Americans are in favour of keeping abortion legal. So even if Roe is struck down, it won't outlaw abortion. It'll just take it, as you said, out of the realms of constitutional law and give it back to the states. That's what you're saying should happen.
Right. That's where it rightfully belongs because then there's accountability to the people and they can vote for however they want. I find it interesting, though, that there's always this great concern about what if a liberal person lives in a conservative state and they don't agree with the laws of that state? There's never any thought given to a conservative who lives in California or New York or in Illinois, someplace where there is a heavy liberal ruling that their rights are being violated too. So it's always funny that it never seems to go both ways,
No,
only
never.
one
No.
way.
I mean, it'll send Trump critics into a tailspin, won't it? Because this will be a consequence of Trump nominating two of the court's six conservative
Right.
justices.
Right. And that's his part of his legacy that remains was returning the court to the place that he thought was rightfully suited. And it was his right to do that. You know, the left said, oh, we should be able to pack the court. But even Ruth Bader Ginsburg said nine is the correct number. And so Trump was fortunate to be able to get some good judges on the court. And this really is the right legal decision, even if the left disagrees with
Well,
it.
talking about the
Ideologically.
left, I mean, Bernie Sanders, Nancy Pelosi, the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer have described the potential ruling as one of the worst and most damaging decisions in modern history, unquote. Peggy, not too much respect for the courts there, unless they deliver the outcome that the political left seek.
Right. They just want their way. They don't necessarily want what's right. And they hold up lionesses of the court like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but yet how she spoke about this very issue, they choose to ignore when it's politically expedient for them to do so.